All right, someone emailed with some questions from the study guide. So I'm going to answer those questions right now. And they were problems 26. All right, number 26. You were given this right triangle. One leg is A, another leg is 21. One angle is 55. And we've got a side C right here. Okay, so we haven't covered this in a really long time. And this is a review of your sine, cosine, and tangent. So in a right triangle, if you're given an angle and you're given an adjacent side, you had the acronym SOHCAHTOA. And SOHCAHTOA meant that, or represented sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent equals opposite over adjacent. In this case, if you're given this 55-degree angle and you want to solve for side A, and you're given the adjacent side, you're going to use the ratio opposite and adjacent is tangent ratio. So you're going to say tan of 55 equals the opposite side, which is side A, over the adjacent side, which is 21. And then in order to solve for side A, you can multiply both sides here by 21. So in your calculator, you can take 21 and multiply it by 55 tan. And that equals 29.99. And I'm going to go to second fix 2. So 29.99 equals A. So to simplify this, we're just going to use 30. So 30 is equal to A. So A equals 30. And now you have a right triangle where you know two of the sides. Yes. Oh, boy. Sorry about that. Is that better? Yep. Now you have a right triangle where you know two of the sides. So you can use the Pythagorean theorem, which says one leg squared plus another leg squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So in your calculator, 30x squared plus 21x squared is equal to 1,341. And then if you find the square root of both sides, then 36.6 is equal to C. So the first part of question number 26 asks you to find the value of each variable. So C is equal to 36.6. And then you're asked, second part of the question was find the perimeter. So the perimeter would be equal to 21 plus 30 plus 36.6. So the perimeter of that triangle would be 87.6. So there's the second part of the question. $32, $36, and $42. All right, number 32 was the next question. And on number 32, you were asked to use the quadratic formula to solve the equation. Round your answer, if necessary, round to the nearest hundredth. So the equation is 2a squared minus 46a plus 252 is equal to 0. So if you're going to be using the quadratic formula and everything is divisible by 2, or if everything is divisible by something, you can divide everything by that first. Or you're basically going to divide both sides of this equation by 2. When you do that, you have to divide everything on the left side by 2. So your 2a squared divided by 2 is a squared. Your 46a divided by 2 is 23a. And your 252 divided by 2 is 126. And that's equal to 0 divided by 2, which is 0. And if you remember the quadratic formula, it was x equals opposite of b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So next you could label your a, b, and your c. So whatever's in front of your a squared is your a, so your a is equal to 1. Whatever's in front of your a is your b, so your b is equal to negative 23. And your c is equal to your constant out here, which is 126. So then you can substitute. So your x, or in this case, your a in this problem, you're solving for the variable in the polynomial. It's going to be equal to 23 plus or minus the square root of your b squared. So that's 23 squared minus 4 times your a value, which is 1, times your c value, which is 126. And all of that gets divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. So then to finish this up, $23 squared is 529 minus 4 times 126, 504, all divided by 2. $529 minus 504 is 25 divided by 2. This square root of 25 all simplifies to a 5. So our a is equal to 23 plus 5 over 2, or 23 minus 5 over 2. So 23 plus 5 is 28 over 2, and that's 14. Or a could be equal to 23 minus 5, which is 18 over 2, which is 9. So those are your two values for a. Next question was in regards to number 36. 36, you were asked which function is greater. at x equals 5. One of the functions is y equals 4 raised to the x power. The other function is y equals x to the 4th power. And what that means is to just take the 5 and substitute it into both and evaluate. So we're going to compare y equals 4 raised to the 5th to y equals 5 raised to the 4th. And in your calculator, if you take 4 and raise it to the 5th, you get 1024. And then if you take 5 and you raise it to the 4th, you get 625. So the 1024 is greater, or the y equals 4 raised to the x power is greater. And finally, number 42 was the last question someone had emailed me about. Suppose y varies inversely with x. Write an equation for the inverse variation. So inverse variation. An inverse variation function looks like y equals a constant divided by x, or x times y is equal to a constant. So you're asked to write an equation for the inverse variation, y equals 2, when x equals 7. So if you substitute into here, what you get is 7 times 2 equals k. So you get 14 equals k. So since this is your inverse variation format, then your equation is going to be y equals your k value, which is 14, over x. And those are the 4 questions that were emailed to me. So I will, I'll post those on YouTube. If you have any other questions before Thursday, email them to me and I'll do the questions in class. Or I'll do the questions and I'll post them or email you back. I don't think I see you guys tomorrow. So the next time I'll see you is Thursday afternoon. For those of you that are e-learning right now, your exam is due by close of business on Thursday. And that exam is available now on Focus and the Focus webpage. So if you don't have any questions, you're free to exit the meeting, and I'm going to close the meeting at this time as well.